Yo, what's cheesy guys? My name is Doge here, and welcome to a new video. We're here to discuss the new death spells. Death spells are pretty nutty right now. If you have not seen any of the ice or myth ones, you go to Austin the Sausage channel. This will be exclusively for death, because I'm running death. But let's get right into this. So starting off, we know like there's like a lot of different changes and everything. What I'm noticing is most of death spells have changed dramatically when it comes to the higher pips. Dark Sprite, um, I wouldn't say this is useful. This is a decent spell. I wouldn't probably use it. Ghoul. Yeah, I would say this is a good spell. You can use it for gambling it up. They buffed the blade to 30% instead of 25, so that's at least something. The big things. Snack attack. I actually kind of like this because it's an AoE, but it doesn't push the weakness. It actually steals a blade from the opponents, and I actually like that. I like that change. I like it a lot. Um, Monster Mash. This is one nutty spell that you don't want to mess with. What it does 595 damage, and the gamut is one opponent's weakness, and it does an extra 210. I can see a lot of people getting this to tier 5, which is 625 damage and 230 more damage if your opponent gets a weakness. Which I can see a lot of people using infection on a lot for death. For the next ones, hold on, it will be Grim Reader. As you may know, they got rid of the top half, bottom half. They didn't change much. It's still nutty ish, but they got rid of the lower pips. Banshee. This is where I'm gonna have it. This is, as you don't know, it used to be minus 65 weaknesses. They changed it to where you clear 2 blades, and it would do 25 school-based weaknesses for damage, and then you got a heal and got an infection on there. Not too bad. Vampires is where I'm gonna be understanding why they would do this. Vampire, as you may know, its value is decent value. But the gambit is where I'm at, like, out of confusion. Clear 2 weaknesses for a minus 60 weakness on the opponent. What that can mean is that you have this, you can be able to combo that with the Monster Mash and just utterly destroy them and force them to play their hands into either a, let's see, into either one, changing it to a blade, and then you can use Banshee, or even better yet, changing it to where, or using Greystone, where you can change your opponent's weaknesses into blades, and to storm flat damage blades, where you can combo out of a Thermal Oni, which I think that's pretty good. But the thing, as you may know, Death also got Skeletal Pirate. Pretty obvious. 350 damage. It's like 350 damage cleared. 2 weaknesses for a tower shield. Obviously, that right there. If you do clear 2 heal overtimes and you get a shield, pretty good if you know how to play it correctly. Wraith. Oh my goodness. What have they done to the Wraith? So what this thing does is it clears two charms, two blades, which is good for like maneuvering over a dark pact, or if you have enough blades to do a gambit and you cover it with the spirit blade where it's like where you get the myth and the life. I can see that coming in there. Otherwise, this will not be as useful. But it gives your opponent a minus 2/3 the damage weakness. What that means is it might be flat damage, or it might be might be an actual percent damage, which I'm hoping I'm thinking more or less that they're going for death as more of a weakness based school than a normal based school. I don't know. As you may know, Headless, of course, they changed their weaknesses to their the Rochambeaus. Alright. They changed Rochambeaus from to have a little more protected stuff. What I'm seeing here now is now for Oni's morbidity, it's actually pretty good. Clear a protected heal over time for 2 shields. Now I can see this happening where it's like where you combo this out for a lot of different spells. For like let's say Dumoni or something like that. But I can see a lot of counters towards it. And that's what I'm not gonna like. Um their Gen's larceny same, they didn't change that. They changed their contagion to now it's like 1 heal over time changes to 2 heal 2 infections. I can see this if you're going up against a life or storm. I can see that going up against a storm, but I just don't know, because these changes, they may be good for a different certain thing, or they may not be good. I do not know. But definitely, Monster Mash is gonna be definitely a good spell to run. And they buffed Dumoni, but they changed it to a 9 pip, to where it used to be, to where it's now like, to where they now change it to from a drain to actual damage. They made an actual good damage hit that is better than Vaughn. Which Vaughn, if you go and... It looks like they also buffed Vaughn. Because people have been... It actually could be better than Vaughn. But Vaughn is 900, and this is like... If you do the shield, it's... And I can see where where Contagion or Oni's morbidity comes in. It's with these. The Dumoni can combo out. I can see where Dumoni comes in and Skeletal Pirate comes in. But other than that, Dumoni could be very useless. Jin. Oh goodness. Clear 4 blades for 665. This right here is better than a Scarecrow. And I can understand like the whole Scarecrow is definitely nutty and whatnot, but Scarecrow compared to Macabre Jin, and I do raids a lot, and I'm gonna explain like how would it benefit in a raid as well, because raids are very, very good right now. Let's say so like how would this benefit in a raid? Raids, I can see people use the new Monster Mash in a raid, because all you have to do for your Gambit is your Infection Monster Mash, and it does like about at least like a solid 800 damage, 805 damage, which is really good because that is like a that's like a mid-tier Triton right there. And that will make Dev's spells possibly usable. And I can see a lot of tricks and combats for like raids, but it depends on what menu you get. Like Snag Attack, I could see that being like you can steal weakness from any kind of death minion or any kind of storm and you can get rid of it for elf if you know how to do it. For certain things like friggin' Wraith, you can set up your weakness gambits for a Scion even. Scion very good. And it looks like Scion might be used a little more than Dumoni because Dumoni does 855 death damage instead of the Drain, which made Dumoni really, really good because all you have to do was set up shields for it. But now Jin may be more useful and Scion might be even more better. I can see this whole meta of a PvP and raids where Dumoni might not be viable. And it may just be a Scion and Jin. Or even Monster Mash is like buffed. I would say this spell right here, this has its buffs. And with me running a full-on like weakness setup, which is entirely full-on weakness, and I can change it to Dare and I can combo out with Lightning Bats, I can see like the whole thing change there. Oh, they did change it to a -30 infection. Ooh, they changed Vaughn a little bit. But I can see like a whole bunch of combos. Dev has many options, and I'm hoping these options are viable. And I'm hoping that things can go into the way where Dev may not rely on Dumoni, and where it may change to where Death can do a weakness gambits and change up their strategies into points of where even in raids you run a full-on like weakness setup, and where it's much better to run weaknesses than it is to run shields. I can see that, and I hope you enjoyed this there. Now, go show Austin Sauce love. If you wanted him to do the death spell audits, you can ask him. But this is my take on it. And it's pretty nutty how in raids and in PvP that these spells can really change. And see you guys next time. Bye-bye!